Good morning, everybody. J.R. Fisher here. Make sure that you can hear me. Post something in that chat there. It is Friday. We've made it to Friday, the 28th of May, 2021. You know, at some point, this will just be history in the books, but right now we're live, which is a cool thing. And if you're new to us, don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button down there. I hit over 5,000 yesterday, which is great. And I was just talking to James in the chat section about hitting 10,000. We're trying to figure out a date. What's the last one you said? St. Crispin's Day, 25th of October. That's what Richard said. James was saying Columbus Day, and I didn't know when the heck Columbus Day was. What is St. Crispin's Day? Why don't I not know that? Is that a UK thing? I don't know. Richard says I'm loud and clear. That's cool. Don't forget to ring the bell. Turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each time I go live or I upload a new video. I want to know what St. Crispin's Day is. Am I that dumb? I don't know what this is. Is it a thing? Are you messing with me? I don't know. But today we're going to talk about, oh gosh, trolls, people who leave nasty comments, and I get them. And if you're online, guys, you're going to get them. Everybody's going to get them. And I want to talk about some of the reasons why they do it, how you can handle it, what you can do with it. But I appreciate everybody being here today. Please utilize that chat section as much as you can. All the comments that you put in there, all the questions you put in there, just saying hello in there actually helps the video. It helps it get more viewership. So that would really be appreciated by you guys. Come on, JR. You're sounding like a used car sales guy. Oh, I was. Okay, the deadline is Thanksgiving Day. Any bozo or the bus knows when Thanksgiving Day is. I do know Thanksgiving Day. I didn't know St. Crispin's. I didn't know that was a thing. But yeah, I do know that. When battles are won, we band of brothers. 100%, guys. We're all banding together. We got our own little group going, which is really cool, really nice. I really appreciate you guys. And let's talk about those trolls or those nasty people that leave us bad comments. When's Thanksgiving? There you go. Somebody from the UK. When's Thanksgiving? We believe that's in November, I think. Loud and clear in Savannah. Good. James can hear me. That's a good thing. So when we get these negative reviews online, what do? What do we do? And guys, keep in mind, even though I'm talking about this today, anything to do with starting, running, and growing an online business, you can put in that chat section. I'll be happy to address any of that. So I know when I get them, you know, like you're tempted when you see a negative review or a negative comment to just jump right in and defend yourself as soon as possible. And I get emails too where people will say things like, you know, your pictures of your canned meats are ugly. It looks like dog food or whatever they want to say to me that day. And I got to tell you, on the emails, I kind of learned my lesson. I don't even respond to them. I don't respond to them. But there are times you do want to respond. But you really do, you know, if you're going to respond, I would say wait. Absolutely wait. You know, probably a good day or so before you respond to anything. And you kind of got to take a checkup from the neck up. And what I mean by that is you got to kind of realize what's going on here. The first thing is take a deep breath. Okay, take a deep breath. I know negative reviews can be really upsetting. They can hurt your feeling. But it's important not to always take them personally, because understand they can't be taken personally if you don't know the person. They don't even know who you are. Okay, they have no idea who you are. Give yourself a few minutes, few hours, a day or so to cool off so that any negative feelings you have don't come across in your response. You don't want that. You don't want to turn yourself into them. Very few responses made in the heat of the moment have really gotten a good response back. Okay, so you're not going to get that. So you got to wait. You got to give it some time. Speaking of time, let me get a sip here. Thanksgiving is the last Thursday of November. Correct. It is. Let's see here. So the next thing I like to do, number 2, is search for that customer in your system. Are they one of your customers? Because you're going to find often that they are not. Based on this information left in the review, try to find the customer's order or account information in your system. And what I've noticed is most people that give me a negative response or a negative email have never spent a dime with me. They never have, and they're usually brand new. They just join the list. And in most cases, like if it's YouTube or something like that, they don't even know who I am. They're not on any of my list. They don't even exist. This very well may prove helpful, okay, knowing this. But it could also give you some additional background on the customer, their experience, what they're complaining about, what they did. I've had people complain about a course or one of my products, and they never even bought one of my products. They never even went to one of my courses. They were just trying to get a reaction. And what I found is that many of these people just have issues in life, and it's kind of like when somebody's rude to you in public. They've just got a bad day going on. It's not you. It's nothing to do with you. It's just a bad day they've got going on. So you want to understand that, or it could just be somebody who gets no attention whatsoever. Maybe it's somebody who's lonesome, has no friends, has no interaction, and they know nobody's talking to them. And if they say something negative to you, at least, even if you're negative to them, they're going to get a reaction. They're going to have somebody talk to them. I really do feel sorry for these people. I mean, you got to think about it. If you go out of your way to say something negative online, to type something out negative, you got bad stuff going on. I mean, who does that? Who just is rude online to other people? It's usually people who have issues themselves. So now if you do find them in the system, okay, let's say they are in your system, you want to kind of determine the root of the complaint. Read it a few times to understand what they're saying, and try to hope, to figure out what they want. Is your product a bad fit for them? Did it not work out? Did something in your process go wrong? I have had that go wrong, where we sent out the wrong product or something like that. Did the customer have unrealistic expectations? I had somebody the other day, they signed up for one of my inner circle things, and they said, oh my God, I'm going to be rich now because I signed up. And I'm like, no, you're not. I said, please don't think that. If you sign up for one of my courses, I give you the information for you to study and to apply, and based on your efforts is going to be your outcome. Could this information make you wealthy? Yes, most definitely. It's made me a lot of money, but just because you purchase something doesn't mean you're going to be successful. It doesn't work that way. Or is this customer just lashing out at you? Did none of these things happen? Put yourself in their shoes and determine what kind of response that you would be satisfied with. Let's see here. You want to aim for a quick turnaround, okay? If you do decide to respond, you want to do it within 24 hours, I think. But don't rush your response, okay? 24 hours is a good time to kind of hold back and not respond at all. And I never try to be negative back to somebody. I've had people say, it was kind of funny. I remember a few years ago, somebody says, you sound like a used car salesman on YouTube. And I'm like, well, it's funny you mentioned that. I was in the car business for a lot of years, so maybe I do sound like a used car salesman. I don't know. But the point was, a lot of times when you respond nice, like I've had people say, well, you've got a terrible voice, or I don't like the way you edited this, or whatever. I apologize. I just said, man, I'm so sorry you didn't like it. I apologize. What would you suggest that I do from this point forward? What do you think would be helpful? And it's so funny, those people just turn around. They're like, oh, I didn't mean to offend you. They're in many cases, they're surprised they even got a response, because nobody is responding to them. They're being ignored constantly, and they're getting more and more brutal and more mean online to just try to get somebody to respond to them. I feel sorry for these people. So I will say something like, hey, I'm really sorry you didn't like this. What do you suggest I do? How could I help you more? Or I'll tell them I appreciate your input. I really appreciate you telling me these things. The only input I have is from the people that are out there, so I really do appreciate it. Let's see here, James. If you had the opportunity to help the newbie, JR, how would you advise the newbie, JR, to begin his online marketing adventure? Well, that is an excellent question. I would say to expect failure. And people don't want to hear this. God, what I tell you is the truth, but they don't want to hear this. Most gurus are going to tell you, oh my God, you're going to be so successful if you do this, 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 this. I'm going to tell you you're going to be met with some failures. But that's okay. As you are met with failures, as things don't work out, you learn this talent of going around things. You learn this talent of readjusting. You learn this talent of finding another thing. You learn this talent of finding another way. Failure is an excellent trainer to be a good business person, okay? Because a good business person, no matter what comes up, they have another way of going about it. I think of Elon Musk, who, was broke and sleeping in his office, and they had rockets that were crashing to the ground, and nothing was working out, and he just kept going. How many people out there would actually do that? Almost all inventors will tell you they've had so many failures. I mean, if you go to Edison or, any of these people, they're going to tell you they had so many failures. And that's the thing I would tell people is, get used to failing. Get used to failing. That's part of, being successful. I mean, I was doing push-ups yesterday and I hit my new record. I was pretty proud of that. I did, 47, 45, and I think 44, which was good for me. That put me in, what is that? 47, let me do some math here. I'm terrible at this. 47 plus 45 plus 44. 136 was my record yesterday. And that's 3 sets, 40 seconds per set. But you know what? A year ago, I started doing them, and I was doing like 25 in 40 seconds. And now I'm doing 47. But I failed, I guess, then, right? No? All it did was make me stronger. I just kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it. That's how these things will work. If you the more you do it, the stronger you're going to get. I will tell you, when you go to respond to these people, try to be professional yet sympathetic, okay? When you begin writing your response, make sure you're approaching it in a manner that will reflect well on your business, because it isn't about you. It's about your business. It's about your online brand. And if you get into some, pissing contest with these people, it's not going to do you any good. It just doesn't. Through failure, success is so sweet. Very, very true. I love looking back on all my failures. I really do. And I've had so many of them since I've started online. But people that see me say, well, my gosh, you were so successful. You were so lucky. Everything you did worked out. I'm like, no, nothing could be further from the truth. Nothing could be further from the truth. I've had a lot of failures. Now, if your business tone is kind of playful, you can still be playful, but you do want to be professional. It's really important. The next thing I would tell you is address the person by their name. This makes it a whole lot more personal. In a world where personalization is taking a front seat in all areas of customer service and marketing, this adds a personal touch to your response. Plus, it helps the customer feel like you're viewing them as an actual person rather than just a sale or another person, okay? Let's see here. Ever check out culinary inventor Ron Popeil? Oh my God, yeah, I grew up with Ron Popeil. And I don't mean personally grew up. I just mean, as growing up as a kid, you always saw his inventions on TV and you saw his infomercials and all that. Actually, infomercials just started years ago. When I was a kid, it was like quick commercials of the Popeil peeling machine or the chopping machine or whatever it was. He was amazing. He was amazing. Slight edge works. Very, very true. Very true. And do what I do. The next thing I tell you is apologize. I'll tell people, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you didn't like my voice. I'm so sorry that you didn't like my information. I'm so sorry that you whatever it is. Apologize. People are so tight-fisted about apologies. They're like, man, I can't apologize. I can't say I'm wrong. I can't say they're right. Why? What does it hurt? It never hurts. I tell you what, it really helps is in a relationship. If you're in a relationship with somebody, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, and you say you're sorry, oh my God, it means volumes, but so many people can't do it. They just can't seem to say I'm sorry. It doesn't cost you anything to apologize. Even if you're not wrong, is it going to hurt you to apologize? Probably not. It doesn't mean you are wrong. You're just sorry. Okay, you're sorry that, they got offended or whatever. But it doesn't hurt you to admit if you're sorry with a, situation. It also shows potential customers that you care about their experience, because other people, if you're doing this online, are going to see this stuff. They're going to be reading this stuff. Whether you're apologizing for the misunderstanding or inconvenience or something you messed up, an apology can go a really long way, guys. It really can. So I would suggest you apologizing. Now, don't be defensive. Don't be aggressive. Don't accuse them of things. Don't ever do any of those things, okay? There have been many instances where business owners have responded in this manner and it backfired, resulting in everything from lawsuits to losing, customers and business. Other customers are going to be reading this. They're going to go, man, that person is really kind of mean. I don't like them. They're kind of mean. I don't think I'm going to buy from them. So you never want to be that way. You never want to be defensive or aggressive. It's funny. I'm probably more likely to be a defensive or aggressive face-to-face to somebody than I am online. Most people will hide behind a computer and they'll be really rude and mean to people on a computer, but in face-to-face they would never say those things to them. I'm just the opposite. I'm going to tell you exactly what I feel if I'm face-to-face with you. I promise you that, because I grew up in one of those neighborhoods where you did that. Okay, it was not a great neighborhood. Matter of fact, the neighborhood I grew up in, one of my friends from Memphis, Tennessee, told me it has the highest murder rate in all of Memphis now. My neighborhood, literally the street that I grew up on, has one of the highest murder rates in Memphis, Tennessee now. And it was bad then. It's just gotten, worse, I guess. Tell them, change the dial. Yes, you can do that. But I don't, I'm like, I try to realize if somebody does something negative to me, it's not about me. It really isn't about me. They know they can change the dial. Sometimes people will hone in on a particular channel just so that they have somebody to pick on. I mean, they'll literally do that. Okay, so it's not a matter of them not knowing that you don't have to watch it. It's a matter of some people will listen or watch to somebody they hate just because it gets a reaction from them. It's kind of a weird thing. It's a weird mind thing. John Wayne said to apologize is a sign of weakness. Yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't think so. I think apology can go a long ways. It really does. And I can't believe that any one individual is always right. I can't believe that any one individual is always right. I think sometimes we are wrong. And even if we're not wrong, I've apologized. I know in the automotive business, I've had a lot of customers who were mad about whatever. And they would come into my office, they argued with the finance manager, the used car manager, new car manager, and I'm the general manager. And they come into my office, and the first thing I say is, I'm really sorry, man. I'm sorry you had a bad experience. I really apologize for that. And you could just see their tone just drop. They're like, oh, well, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. It's just that, and all of a sudden their tone drops. I think it goes a long ways. I really do. I think it's very, very helpful. I use that as a tool over the years to soften up a lot of customers, and they became friends. Literally, I've had ones that became friends after they came in to complain. Next thing I'll tell you is be brief, okay? Don't try to go on and on and on and explain your situation. There's no point. There's no point. It really isn't. This will help steer you away from being defensive if you lean towards that long response, okay? The main objective of a response is to let the customer and other people they're watching know that you're willing to improve the experience of somebody who is dissatisfied. You don't have to explain everything that happened. You just don't. Okay, you can just say, hey, I'm sorry, I'm going to make it right for you, or I appreciate your input, I'll certainly look at that. This is really the best way to go about this, because understand, especially when you're online, you're on stage. People are seeing what you're doing. They're seeing how you treat people. They're seeing how you act. They're seeing what your personality is, okay? They're all watching you, okay? Let me get another sip here. And I've had people online say something rude, say something negative, and my other subscribers, my other viewers will pounce on them. They really will. They will jump all over them. So in many cases, I don't need to. Because I guess the Fisher posse will get on top of them and they'll say stuff to them. So, I don't need to do that. I never need to argue with people online. I don't. You won't find me arguing. You won't find me talking about politics. You won't find me doing any of that stuff, because there's no point. There's just no point in doing it, especially politics. And no matter what side of the fence you're on, if you think you're going to change the other person's mind, you're dead wrong. It's not going to happen. The best way to change people's mind is to let them know what you're all about. Let's say you're Republican, Democrat, Christian, whatever it is, Muslim, whatever you're, and let them see how you live your life. Let them see how you treat other people. And based on how you act, they're going to associate the way you act with whatever you represent. Okay? So, I'm of the belief that, I just want to help people online. That's it. I want to help people make money online. And when people see that and they understand that and they get that, then they may look at buying some stuff from me. They may look at buying my survival food or whatever, because they see how I carry myself on a daily basis. And I think that's super important to realize that, guys. It's how you carry yourself online. It's how you express yourself that people are going to judge you. Was told to let the complainant to yak, yak, yak until all the wind is out of their sails before saying a word. Yeah, that's why. Yeah, James, I agree with that. I think that's kind of the wait thing I said. Don't respond immediately. Give it some time. I like to give it 24 hours, if it's really a negative response. I never ignore it. I never ignore, if it's obvious spam, if it's obvious a troll, whatever, I'll just block them. They're not a customer of mine. I'll just block them. I'll just get rid of them. I never have to see them again. It's that simple. That's one thing you can do online, is you can just block people. And the next thing is, let's say it is a real complaint. I would suggest taking the discussion offline. Okay, that's the best case scenario. If you're able to communicate with the customer back and forth to try to resolve an issue to their satisfaction, but the rest of the internet, they don't need to see that. Okay, they don't need to see every single aspect of the interaction. As long as the public gets the impression that you're willing to work with the reviewer in some way, that will go a long way in repairing their opinion of your business. Now, I've noticed on Yelp where people will be complaining about a particular restaurant, and that restaurant will respond, but they respond with a canned response. It's like, we always try to keep our customers happy. We're sorry you had an issue. Feel free to contact our customer support. And you go to the next one, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I don't feel like they're really responding to the customer when they do that. And I had a restaurant do that with me one time. The food was terrible. They cheated me. They lied. It was a really big deal, and I had said something online, and it was the same canned response for everybody. I don't even think the restaurant's in business anymore because they treated people so poorly. But try to take it offline. Don't do canned responses online. I think that's really important. And the next thing is, if you have a real issue, if you actually do have a real issue, try to solve it. Try to solve it. What can you do for these people? Can you refund some money? Now, I'm going to tell you a funny story. We were selling a lot of stuff out of the house here online, and I would go up and meet people, and I had this big light set with all these stands and lights and backdrops and all this stuff, and this person paid little of nothing. They paid maybe 1/10 of what I paid for it, but I just didn't need it, so I gave it to them and collected a little bit of money. And she contacted me, and she said one of the posts was missing. Like a post for $1 or $2. It's really a simple thing. She could go get a PVC pipe, and I didn't know it was missing. I really didn't. But I told her, I said, do you want all your money back, or do you want a portion back? And she was like, well, yeah, if you'd give me a portion back, that would be great. And I did. So the next thing I'll tell you is, if you need to just give them a refund, do it. Give them whatever they want. Do they want more time? Do they want a refund? Do they want you to replace it? What is it they want? What exactly do they want from you? Let me read some of the comments. Do you block vulgarity and profanity? Yeah, I pretty much do, James. I feel like that takes it to another level when people start using that. And I think in many cases, when they're doing that, they're doing it more to get a response than they are to really tell you anything at all. I think, and I would say 99.9% of the time, people who do that are not a customer of yours, and they don't even know you. What they're doing is trying to get a response, and that takes it to a whole other level. When that happens, it takes it to a whole another level. The last thing you want to do is create this endless public back and forth with a customer who can't be satisfied. And I have had people, even when I was in the automotive business, I've said it to people before. I would say, I would sit down with them. I would say, look, here's the deal. We have some customers we can work with, and we can solve their problems. In your situation, it's a little bit different, because I have customers that, no matter what you do, they're not going to be happy. And I kind of feel like you're one of those people who, no matter what I do, you're not going to be happy. So let's just agree not to do business with you. And they look at you like, oh my God, you're not going to sell to me? You're not going to do business with me? Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want your business. And a lot of people will go, oh my God, that's just horrible. I said, well, I'm sorry you feel that way, but I don't feel like I can ever please you. So I would think you should take your business someplace else. Man, that carries a lot of weight. Don't do that online. But I've done that in person, a handful of times in my career where, obviously, no matter what I did, the person wasn't going to be happy. It's like if I refunded them money, they wouldn't be happy. If I gave them a new whatever, they wouldn't be happy. No matter what I did, they weren't going to be happy. And I would ask them, and that's the other thing I would say to you when you're dealing with a customer, say, if I refund your money, will you be happy? If I replace this item, will you be happy? And if they say, yeah, I mean, that would satisfy me. Like, this lady I'd sold this stuff to, I said, if I gave you some money back, would you be happy? She says, oh yeah, that would be great. Now, on the flip side, if you say, if I refund your money, or I redo this, or I rework this, or I give you another 2 hours of this, would it make you happy? And they say, well, nothing's going to make me happy. Nothing at this point. And I'm like, okay, well, why would I refund your money then? I mean, if you're still not going to be happy and you're still not going to like me, why would I refund your money? And it's true. It's like, why give the money back if they're still not going to be happy? No matter what you do, they're not going to be happy. So I like to ask them, this is what I offer you. Will this make you happy? And I ask them that question. And that may be kind of funny to hear that, but it's so true. Why do something like that and cost yourself time or money or another product and you're still not happy? Okay. So while negative reviews are terrible, they can provide valuable learning opportunities on how to improve your business and what to do. With every negative review, consider whether anything could have been done beforehand to prevent it from occurring. Now, if somebody doesn't like one of my videos, maybe I need to work on that video. Maybe I need to do more on it. Or maybe there was nothing I could do. They didn't like the tone of my voice. Well, I can't change that. I mean, I'm stuck with that. If the problem is easily preventable, though, adjust your process to accommodate this fix. If you see the same complaint, think about this, repeatedly over and over and over and over again, you need to look at what you're doing, right? You need to look at what you're doing. Let's see, I knew one guru who gave 100% refund, then blocked the customer from ever buying again. I have done that. I have blocked some people from buying from me, but it was for other reasons other than that. I've given people refunds and not blocked them, but some people, here's the truth. In conclusion, you can't fully satisfy 100% of your customers 100% of the time. You can't, okay? It's important to understand that most customers simply want their frustrations to be heard. That's what they really want. But you're not going to please everybody all the time. It's not going to happen. And this goes with your spouse, your husband, your wife, whoever. Boyfriend, girlfriend, kids, friends. It doesn't matter. You cannot please everybody all the time. People are increasingly turning to other shoppers' advice when making a purchase decision, though. So when you have these things online, you want to handle it properly and go through the steps that I've given you. That's going to be a big success factor in keeping your business. Keep in mind, your customers are your greatest learning tools for discovering ways to improve. Many do that James methinks. Yes, yeah, a lot of people do block them. And I mean, it really depends on the situation for me. It really does. It's not a cut and dry thing. Blocking somebody is a very permanent thing. You're never going to see them again. You're never going to do business with them again. You're never going to give them a chance to see what you've got to offer. Maybe they'll like something else you got on down the road. So, when you do that, it's a very permanent thing. Think about that. Now I block people who put like spam with porn and all kinds of crap on my videos. I went through yesterday and I blocked about 40 or 50 of those. I don't know who thinks they're going to be able to put links to porn on a video on YouTube and it's not going to get blocked. I mean, come on, it's stupid. But I get stuff like that. And they're just trying to, get some business. Or I have people say, hey, my account got hacked on Instagram and this guy fixed it for me. Check him out. And it's really the person, they're just trying to get business. If they were really good at it, they wouldn't have to do that. So guys, do you have any input on this? I think we're down to our 30-minute mark. What do you think of this? What do you think about these online people? What do you think about these trolls, these complaints, these customers? What is your opinion? Put that in the chat box there. Now, if you're watching this and it's no longer live, it's a recording, you can put it in the comments section. I love to come back and read those things, guys. I really do. I love just sitting there and reading what you guys have to say. And the more detailed you put in there, the better. I really enjoy that a lot. So please put that in there. If I can help you with anything at all having to do with starting, running, and growing online businesses, that's what this channel is all about. I'm live Monday through Saturday. Monday through Friday is 9 a.m. and then Saturday is 10 a.m. The hours will change because I'm moving to another time zone in Texas. And that's not going to be our closing date got bumped again. Now it was going to be 6/28. Now it's going to be 7/10. We can't move until a day or two after that. So that got changed too. But time will change. But that's when I do them. I have changed my video upload schedule. You're going to get a new video every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I was doing Monday through Friday, but I'm so swamped with stuff I've got to do right now. I just can't do that many videos. So I'm going to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday. We did get to 5,000 subscribers. Our next goal is 10,000. And I think we can get there a lot quicker. We have a much better roll going on now. So I think we can do that. And with y'all's help, I mean, without your help, it doesn't matter. I can't do any of this without you, because it is you. Really, this channel is your channel. I think it's funny when YouTubers say, this is my channel. I'm like, no, you don't have a channel. All you do is do some videos. It's those people out there that support you that make up your channel. Without those people that support you, you ain't got nothing. And I realize that. I don't have a survival food company without my customers. I don't have a YouTube channel without my subscribers. I just don't. It's you guys. I owe you guys. So anything you need from me, anything you want to see, any videos you want me to work on, let me know. I owe it to you, and I really want to do that. Let's see here. Excuse me. They buy your course on ClickBank, then want a refund, so they got your course for free. How about that? Yeah, and that happens. And I know I get ripped off. I know it. It's part of it. It's frustrating. I'll tell you what's worse, James. This is the worst. And this happens on ClickBank. Somebody will sign up to be an affiliate, okay? And what they'll do is they will market your course, supposedly. But instead, what they really do is, under another email, they buy your course with a stolen credit card. This has happened to me multiple times. And then what they'll do is they'll get a commission because they are the affiliate and they bought the course with a stolen card. Does that make sense? So I got like $1,000 course, and then they get a $500 commission. And then a month later, I get a chargeback for the entire $1,000 because they used, a stolen credit card. Yeah, that happens. That's happened to me multiple times. So what ended up happening was I had to pay scammers $500 for buying my course with a stolen credit card, and then they disappear and you can't find them. Nice, huh? Nice. Hey, it's part of the landscape. These things happen. It's part of the landscape. But here's the funny thing about them getting a free course. People who do that, people who try to get the free course and then refund on it, they never do anything with it. They never get anything out of it. All they've done is waste their own time, because they'll never study, they'll never work hard. If you're going about this thing the wrong way, you don't get it. You don't get it. If you don't get it, you're never going to get it. Okay. If you're trying to scam the person that is teaching you, you're going to be a failure. You just are. It's funny. D. Regal, what's going on? I want to say hello to you. Peace and blessings, everyone. See y'all tomorrow. James is checking out. I guess it's time for me to check out. Hey, it's really been awesome to see y'all here. If you're just joining me, hey, I do these live every day, 9 a.m. Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. on a Saturday. So I love having you guys in here. I love your comments. Love all you do. I really do. I appreciate all you guys. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow at 10 a.m. Tomorrow, I'm going to be teaching you a whole bunch of businesses you can start within 24 hours. How about that? You can make money in 24 hours.